You want to know one thing that I realized that I've noticed about energy and as well as empathy? A lot of the times people don't know what's happening to them. They don't know what's going on. Um, they don't feel it. Of course, they don't see it. Like when we talk about psychic attacks, there are signs that if you know, then you know when you're being psychically attacked. But for the most part, you don't feel it, you don't know it, you don't see it, you don't hear it. So it's kind of like you wonder to yourself, is this really happening and is it affecting me? And the thing is that of course it is. Just because you can't see it happening does not mean that it's not happening. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, does that mean it doesn't make a noise? Absolutely not. It makes a noise, but you're just not around to hear it. So, what I've noticed is that because people sometimes when I explain things, they don't really understand because people are looking for some type of result. People can't believe what they don't see. And if, like I said, if they don't know, then they just don't know. If they haven't had experiences, at the same time, if they're not willing to learn, then I mean, how are they're not going to get it. They're not going to understand. So the thing is that when you begin to work on your emotional state, when you begin to prioritize your emotional wellness, then you will begin to clear out more of your emotional state. Therefore, with that clarity, with that emotional clarity and transparency, you will begin to develop empathy. Okay? And the more that you prioritize your emotional wellness and feeling good, right? The feel good has a lot to do with your vibration as well. Okay? So you're cleansing your frequency, your vibration, your self emotionally, creating and making space to develop more empathy. So this is emotional development. Okay? And through more emotional development and going in with desensitizing yourself, look at the friend. With going in and desensitizing yourself, you will gain more awareness within your body and within understanding your emotional state. If you're always in an unhealthy emotional state, then you don't know what it's like being in a healthy emotional state. So the more that you practice being in a healthy emotional state, then you will know and understand what it is to be healthy. Okay? And so in being healthy, when things become unhealthy, you will notice and you will feel the shift. Okay? Then from there, you will begin to learn more about yourself and your emotional wellness. Okay? That's the best way that I can explain it. Because a lot of things are custom, it's custom to people. What excites me may not excite you. You understand? What I care about may not be something that you care about. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. It's a process. Because I feel like a lot of the times people, they want instant results. That's the instant gratification programming. You know? So you got to work on your mental health too. Your mental and your emotional well-being, your emotional wellness, that is very important. It go hand in hand together. This is how you find the balance. This is how you find the inner harmony. But take it one day at a time. You understand? I went through a period of time to where I had to build on my mental. Once I build on my mental, I had to start building on my emotional. I had to learn how to become emotionally intelligent. I had to learn what that is, what that was. So, I mean, eventually you'll come to realize that the balance is think with your heart. Okay? And I know that some people say, well, I can't think with my heart because, I don't want to be soft, or I don't want to be, I don't want to be vulnerable. Your heart is not cotton candy, rainbows, and butterflies. You have a strong heart. You speak from the heart. You speak with integrity. You speak with truth. You think with truth. You think with integrity. You understand what I'm saying? So when people say think from the heart, it's not anything to where you're being super soft and not standing up for yourself. Anything that comes from the heart, it should come out beautifully. You understand what I'm saying? Let's say that somebody hurts your feelings. Most people, we get upset when in all actuality we're really sad. But our anger is our first reaction, so that is what we go off of. The thing is, admit how you feel. Like, damn, that made my feelings hurt. That hurt my feelings when you said that. But, I don't agree with what you say. And at the same time, I don't appreciate what you say either. And as I could be nasty and say something nasty back to you, but I choose not to even do that, because that would be a waste of my time, and that would be something that will lower my vibration. If you say some shit like that to somebody and they're trying to be nasty to you and they're not on that level, honey, they're not going to know what to think or how to respond to that. They're just going to continue after you say something like that. They're just going to continue to expose more of themselves with having a problem. Because if there are people around, they're going to be caring about what people say and what people think about them after you done had so much integrity towards them when they try to be so nasty and so spiteful. It's like you're hitting them with a high vibration when they try to come at you on a low vibration. Like, no, we don't do that. We don't entertain that. I'm not threatened by that little petty ass low vibration. Let me speak some real shit to you real quick. Let me let you know what's up, because you want me to feel some type of way. And okay, well, you have accomplished that, but at the same time, I'm about to alchemize it real quick. And sometimes people are just like, don't nobody want to hear that wise shit. Don't nobody care about that. Well, you can walk away. You can walk away from that person if they try to play you like that, because they're just not on your level. So continue to show that they're not on your level. They try to come with you with some dumb shit, with some bullshit. So it's just like, you know what? I spoke my piece. That's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to walk away from this situation. Yeah. For some reason, some people be hating when you're not bothered. And it's just like, why are you so bothered within your life to where you want to bother other people? You don't got shit else to do with your goddamn life. And that's why you in the position that you in, and that's why you so unhappy, and that's why you keep trying to come for other people. It's all an exposure. Motherfuckers be reflecting what they're going through and how they're trying to take their issues out on other people. It's really the inevitable. So, just some words of wisdom real quick. Just enjoying this good old this this good old beach, these good old beach vibes, honey, with my friends. Birds are so significant to the animal kingdom. It's ridiculous. It's kind of like birds are the spiritual guides for the animals. Everybody depends on the birds because the birds, they can see high up, so they can see, they can see more. And the birds will help. They'll help the animals, you know. Yes, darling. So what are you gonna do? What's up? All right. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up there. So until the next time, we'll talk again. Thank you. All right, so now we are about to get into the next part of our session. So you're going to find something that you know true to yourself you have been procrastinating on doing. And you're going to take this time out and you're going to take care of that. So me, myself personally, this is my rabbit's cage, and I have been procrastinating with cleaning the cage out. And one thing about me, I hate that nagging feeling in the back of my mind to where it's just like, you need to go ahead and do something. You need to take care of something. Rather, why you need to take care of it or deal with it right now. It doesn't matter. Okay, so my way of thinking, my logic, because my rabbit got really sick from being outside. So I bought him inside. But one thing I noticed about rabbits is that rabbits are very resilient. So, I didn't want my rabbit to be caged up all day. So I went through different motions of trying to figure out how I can give a better quality of life to my rabbit. So he had got jerk neck, I think that's what they call it, to where he was dealing with a parasite, and so I had to go in and I had to heal him. So I took him from outside and brought him inside. I had to buy him a new cage because the old one was just raggedy, and I didn't know if there were like little dust mites in there or parasites or what have you. So I just got rid of it and I bought a new one. I used to let my rabbit out, just roam around, but he was biting on the wall. He was pulling up the carpet and stuff like that. Rabbits get very bored. They deal with anxiety. So it's good for them to have like chew toys. But I've noticed with him being outside, he's so much calmer outside. So, I went through a period in time to where I'm just like, I'm so conflicted as to what to do. I don't want to put him back outside. And then something happens to him again. And I want to take care of the problem, and I want to make sure that I can prevent the problem in the future. Okay, so that's the beauty of understanding how procrastination affects us, because it has a lot to do with future forward. Sometimes it's good to plant seeds for the future, even if you don't know why you're doing it. Sometimes you may receive a gift, but in your life at that time, you don't really have too much of a use for that gift. So, you may give it away, you may throw it away, you may, not pay attention to it, just put it up somewhere and you find out it gets damaged. But then later on, you realize like, damn, I needed that. I needed that tool. I needed that gift. Okay. So, procrastination, it helps you. And a lot of the times I notice that very smart people procrastinate. At the same time, it's because they're going with the flow of life, right? But there are times to where if you could take care of something right now, take care of it right now. Don't wait to put it off for the next day. This too is also how you work with the mentor within. So it's kind of like, you are mentoring yourself, by doing things future forwardly, because it's going to be important to the future. Okay. Your procrastination can also be a gift. It's not about what it is or who you are. It's about how you work it. So just remember that. Okay. We're also going to get into talking about the people around you. Okay. But first, let me say this: with working with the mentor within, it's kind of like this is the part of yourself to where you'll thank yourself later. Okay. So I just want to get that out of the way before we jump into this. Okay. So my thing is that sometimes as a dreamer, you can become distracted because in trying to pursue something and believing in yourself without any help, and especially when you have people around you who are constantly trying to get in your way or could keep you down or push you down, or they're not supportive. It's kind of like what you want to do, your dreams, your vision, they don't see it, they don't believe in it. So it's kind of like people will try to convince you, oh, you're wasting your time. You may be the type of person to where you have tried many different things, many different ventures or what have you, and shit just did not work out. Either you got distracted or you were meant to just go a different way. you know the path of least resistance and the path of creation is one that is very mysterious. It's not necessarily structure, but the more in which that you put your plan together, you're going to find that structure is needed, and you're going to be able to create that structure from all of this scatteredness that you're going through, because through dealing with the scatteredness, you're learning. There's always something at the end that you learn. Either you'll learn like, damn, I should have had more time with that, or I shouldn't have procrastinated on that, or I should have did this and did that, or I'm glad that I did this because I learned this, I was introduced to this, now I can apply that to what I have going on. So even with being scattered, the thing is that the purpose is to heal the scatteredness. It is not to see it as a problem. It is just to kind of tame it, be in control of it, discipline it. Because it is, in my personal experience, it is very useful. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with people who don't see your vision, the energy is so draining. It becomes very draining. And with that too, you also it's kind of like the draining of other people's disbelief in you and having something to say, and all of this negativity that they're giving you, it drains you and you find yourself procrastinating. But I'm not going to say the talent, but the characteristic of your scatteredness is very helpful, because then you can channel your attention elsewhere. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to stay focused on what you're doing and then having to deal with somebody who's in your ear or who's in your head trying to discourage you. You understand what I'm saying? So with us going in and focusing on something that we have been procrastinating, rather it has anything to do with what we're in pursuit of or not, it doesn't matter. This is a way, your scattered energy, you have lots of potential for expansion in many different areas of your life. Okay? So, you have the ability to be able to juggle things, and that's a good talent to kind of have, because there's going to be a time to where you are going to have to juggle things. Everything is not going to be peachy cream. Everything is not going to be balanced and stable all the time. And see, a lot of people who can't handle being flexible, because in being scattered, it's, you're flexible. You find flexibility. So some people, they cannot adapt to the flexibility of change. Whenever it comes to anything in life, there are seasons, there are cycles. And a lot of the times people are ignoring the wave of the cycles. Therefore, it's kind of created like insanity, because they don't know, they're not paying attention. But with you being scattered, that is your ability. You kind of have like a one up on other people, to where even though it looks like you don't know what you're doing, you're figuring it out more so than most people who think that who look like they know what they are doing. And you're not going to see everybody's process. You're not going to see the things in which that they're going through behind the scenes. You're not going to necessarily know unless you ask or have been there about their journey the whole way. People, you know what I learned? Success cannot necessarily be taught. I feel like there's a lot of people who are scamming people. People fall in despair of their dreams and trying to make shit come true to the point, and then on top of that, they don't have people who believe in them or who support them. So it's kind of like they start reaching out to people, looking for somebody to pull them up. Well, there's a lot of people out here. It's kind of like they'll make it seem like they're pulling you up. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're giving you a little piece of the rope. They have a whole rope. They can do more. More is possible for them to do to help and assist you with. But the thing is that, people like to play on your despair. People want you to when you're in despair, it's a trap, because they want to be able to put you in a position to where you believe in them more than you believe in yourself. So now you're powering them up while dissipating yourself. So now you become less focused on what you're going for, and you're becoming more focused on what somebody else is doing. And it could get really tricky, because it could kind of seem like we want the same things. You might meet somebody and it's like, oh, well, we're doing the same things. We can collaborate and all this type of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that you want to remember what you are bringing to the table and value what you are bringing to the table. And you want it to be equal to whoever it is in which that you're working with as well. Okay, so now we're getting back into our project. So here I'm just going in, and I am coating. I'm putting a top coat over top of the glitter, but it's actually going to be a second top coat, because I'm going to put the glitter on top of this coat too. Okay, and I decided that I was going to make this jar like one color, just the green sparkles. Okay, so that's pretty much all of which I'm going to be doing for this part of the video. But I want you to really understand something about procrastination. It can be harmful or it can be helpful. It's all in the way in which that you perceive it and are true to yourself. If you want to sit around and be lazy and overlook your responsibilities and let shit just fall apart, then you're going to have to deal with that. And you understand that is going to be a mess for you to have to clean up. So the more messes that we have to clean up, the more it's taken away from us time and energy wise. So a part of getting a hold of the scatteredness and the procrastination is to learn how to balance it. But before you learn how to balance it, you may need to motivate yourself to be more determined to not procrastinate at all. Once you get into the flow of not procrastinating at all, then you can loosen up and begin to play around with the balancing between procrastinating and not procrastinating. Because, like I said, the procrastination, sometimes you're moving too fast and you need to slow down. So the procrastination is you communicating to yourself like, hey, slow down. But we see procrastination, we see scatteredness as something negative or bad. So we kind of feel like it's something we're not supposed to be doing. Do not reject any part of who you are. Learn how to master it. You are not a mistake. Your job is to learn to master all that you were born with, because you were born with everything that you need to do whatever it is in which that you want to have a happy, healthy, fulfilling, successful life. Okay, so we're going to end it there, and we're just going to let the rest of the video play. So until the next time, when we get into our next session, I'll see you then. Take care. Thank you.
DJ Sound. DJ Sound. DJ Sound.